Have you ever been caught in the grip of anxiety? It can strike quietly or suddenly overwhelm you like a storm. Your heart races, thoughts spiral, and you feel as though something is tightening in your chest. In that moment, it's easy to feel like you're powerless. But what if I told you you're never powerless? In fact, you have the power to hold space for your anxiety, to gently guide yourself back to calm. What if I told you that instead of fighting anxiety, the key to easing it is simply to acknowledge it? What if you could approach it with kindness, patience, and wisdom? Today, let's explore 5 gentle practices that can help you shift your state when anxiety arises. These practices are grounded in mindfulness, self-awareness, and timeless wisdom that have been guiding people for centuries. Anxiety can feel overwhelming, but the good news is you don't have to face it alone. What if the very thing you've been resisting could be the doorway to your inner calm? Let's dive into how you can create space for your anxiety, acknowledge it, and use it as a tool to reclaim your peace. Anxiety. It can appear silently, creeping into your mind and body, or it can strike suddenly, hitting you with overwhelming force. Your heart races, your thoughts spiral out of control, and you feel a tightening in your chest. In those moments, it's easy to feel like you're drowning, like there's no way out. But here's the truth. You are never powerless. Anxiety may try to convince you that you're helpless, but there are things you can do to help yourself. The key isn't to fight the anxiety, but to hold space for it, to let it move through you and to gradually return to a place of calm. So what can you do when anxiety arises? Here are 5 gentle practices that can help you shift your state and begin the process of returning to peace. These practices are rooted in mindfulness, self-awareness, and a bit of timeless wisdom. 1. Acknowledge without judgment. The first step in dealing with anxiety is not to escape it, but to acknowledge it. When anxiety strikes, our natural reaction is often to resist it. We think, I don't want to feel this, or something's wrong with me for feeling this way. But here's the thing. Anxiety, like any emotion, only grows stronger when we fight it. So instead of resisting it, try something different. Pause and say to yourself softly, I am feeling anxious right now. And that's okay. You're not labeling yourself as anxious. You're simply noticing it. It's like watching a cloud pass by in the sky of your awareness. Acknowledging it without judgment, just letting it exist for a moment. This practice, called mindful acknowledgement, is the opposite of suppression. In Buddhism, the practice of vipassana, insight meditation, teaches us to observe every sensation and thought without clinging or aversion. The Buddha once said, whatever is felt is within suffering, but by knowing it clearly, one is freed. You don't have to get rid of the anxiety, you just have to recognize it. That act of recognition is the first step toward self-kindness, the first step toward reclaiming your peace. 2. Anchor yourself in the body and breath. Anxiety often lives in the future, in imagined disasters and things that haven't even happened yet. But your body, your breath, they live in the present moment. When you feel anxiety building, it's time to ground yourself in the here and now. Sit down, place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Inhale deeply for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. Feel the breath moving through you like gentle waves, bringing you back to the present. This is what we call embodied mindfulness. When you consciously focus on your breath, your nervous system begins to calm. Your heart rate slows, your mind settles, and if your thoughts try to interrupt, that's okay. Just return to your next breath. Breath becomes your anchor in the storm of anxiety. 3. Name the thought, but don't become it. Anxiety often whispers stories to us. Something's going to go wrong, I'm not good enough, or what if this never ends? But here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the one observing them. So when an anxious thought arises, try this simple but powerful phrase. I'm noticing a fearful thought, or that's anxiety speaking. By labeling the thought, you create space between yourself and the thought. That space, no matter how small, is everything. In Buddhist philosophy, thoughts are often compared to clouds. They are always changing and never permanent. Your awareness, like the sky, remains untouched by them. This simple act of labeling is also a technique used in cognitive diffusion, a therapeutic practice in acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. It teaches us to observe our thoughts rather than argue with them or drown in them. Let the thoughts pass without attaching meaning to them. You don't have to believe everything your mind says when it's scared. 4. Shift your state with one gentle, intentional action. Anxiety often builds when we feel frozen, stuck in a loop of overthinking, overanalyzing, and worrying about what might happen. But one of the quickest ways to break that loop is to take action, not to escape the feeling, but to change your relationship to it. A simple, gentle movement can make a world of difference. Whether it's taking a short walk, stretching, or simply standing up and moving around for a few moments, moving your body shifts your energy. Sometimes the best way to shift the energy of anxiety is not by fighting it, but by moving with it, and using that movement to change how you experience the sensation in your body. These practices, though simple, are deeply rooted in the teachings of mindfulness and compassion. They help you step away from the storm of anxiety and begin the process of returning to calm. But there's one more powerful step to explore, one that's deeply transformative. Let's dive into that next. Building on the grounding practices we just explored, let's now look at how we can shift our state with gentle, mindful actions and end the moment with self-compassion. When anxiety strikes, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and frozen in the grip of your thoughts. But there's a powerful antidote: action. Sometimes the best way to shift the energy of anxiety isn't through thinking, but through doing. Get up. Stretch slowly and feel the stretch in your body as you gently release the tension. Maybe make yourself a warm cup of tea, or step outside and let the fresh air kiss your face. You don't need to solve everything at once. Just do one small thing with full attention. It could be something as simple as organizing your desk drawer, watering your plants, or folding your clothes. These seemingly mundane tasks can become anchors in the storm. In Buddhist monasteries, monks are taught to find presence in the smallest of tasks: sweeping the floor, preparing food, folding robes. Each act becomes a meditation. When you shift your attention to the present moment, even in the simplest task, you ground yourself in the here and now. Let your action be your anchor. Each small movement, each breath you take reminds your nervous system that you are still here. You are safe and you are capable. Anxiety might try to pull you into the future, into worries and what-ifs, but in that moment of action, you are asserting your presence in the now. 5. End with compassion. After you've made space for your anxiety and taken gentle action, it's time to end the moment with compassion. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Anxiety is not a sign of weakness. It's your mind trying to protect you, but doing so imperfectly, loudly, and with fear. So when the wave of anxiety begins to ease, Place your hand on your heart and say something kind to yourself. I am safe now. I did the best I could. It's okay to feel this way. This practice of self-soothing is called loving kindness, metta. The Buddha taught, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Speak to yourself with the same kindness, gentleness, and patience you would offer a dear friend. Even if your anxiety hasn't completely vanished, the fact that you've met it with courage is enough. You see, anxiety may visit us from time to time, sometimes uninvited, sometimes overwhelming. But each time it does, you now have the tools to meet it. Awareness, breath, space, movement, and kindness. You're not broken, you're simply human. And in those moments of fear, you have the power to return to peace gently and steadily. If this message brought you comfort today, I encourage you to subscribe. I share gentle wisdom, calm tools, and mindful guidance to support you through life's storms. And if someone you care about is struggling with anxiety, maybe share this video with them too. Remember, sometimes the smallest light is all it takes to find our way again.